Everyone in the neighborhood said Mara was a good girl. She was the type who would carry an old woman's bag without being asked. She greeted elders with both hands. She never liked trouble, never raised her voice. If you needed help, Mara was the first to show up. But that was before the day she gave her brother her kidney. Before she gave up almost everything she had, and before she heard what he truly thought of her. That day, something inside Mara broke. And what she did next, no one saw it coming. Not even Tunji. Before we continue, please support our channel, like, share the story, and subscribe. It means the world. Thank you. Mara and Tunji were siblings. Tunji was older by 2 years, but Mara had always acted like the big one. She cooked, cleaned, fetched water when they were kids, even gave him her meat when there was only one piece in the soup. Their parents used to say, "Mara, you are the heartbeat of this family." And she believed them. When their mother fell sick in Mara's first year of university, it was Mara who came home every weekend to take care of her. Tunji, he sent airtime. When their father lost his job, Mara picked up extra shifts at the school library. She sent money home even when it meant she would sleep hungry some days. Still, when Tunji talked, their parents listened more. When Tunji entered a room, their father stood taller. He was the golden boy, the one who was going to lift the family up. But life doesn't always go the way people plan. After a few failed businesses and one messy divorce, Tunji moved back home at 29. Mara didn't judge. She just welcomed him back. "It's okay," she said. "You'll bounce back." Then, one day, Tunji collapsed in the sitting room. It started with tiredness, then swollen feet, then sharp pain in his side. The doctors said his kidneys were failing, fast. Dialysis was not working well, and he needed a transplant, urgently. There was only one match in the family. Mara. She was 27, young, strong, and already doing her master's degree in clinical archives. She had a part-time job and plans to move to the UK for her PhD. But all that stopped the day she heard the doctor say, "If he doesn't get a donor soon, he may not survive." Mara didn't even blink. "Take mine," she said. Their father looked surprised. Their mother started crying. Tunji didn't say much, just gave her a small hug and said, "Thank you, sis." Mara smiled. She thought, this is what family is for. The surgery wasn't easy. She was in pain for weeks. Her side hurt, her body was weak. But Mara didn't complain. She moved back home to recover and to help Tunji recover too. She cleaned his wounds, helped him bathe, cooked his meals. When the drugs made him nauseous, she rubbed his back. When he couldn't sleep, she sat by his bed and told him stories from when they were kids. She even dropped out of school for a while. Her savings went into his medications and checkups. The trip to the UK was cancelled. The visa expired. Still, Mara said nothing. She believed that one day, her brother would stand strong again and thank her. But one afternoon, the truth came. And it didn't come gently. That day was hot. The sun was harsh. Mara had just come back from the market with fresh oranges and bread. As she walked past Tunji's room, she heard laughter. Loud, careless laughter. His friends had come over. Mara smiled to herself. Maybe he was getting better. Then she heard it. "Bro, you're maddo," one of the guys said, laughing. Tunji replied, "Guy, I'm not mad. I'm smart. You think I didn't plan this?" "What do you mean?" another voice asked. "I mean, Mara's soft. Always been. I knew she'd give me her kidney if I just acted weak enough." The room went quiet. Then Tunji laughed. A loud, wicked laugh. "She gave me her kidney, her money, her peace of mind, all for free. I always get what I want, a beg. You know the funny part? She even thinks I'll thank her." They all laughed again. Mara froze. The bag of oranges slipped from her hand and rolled across the floor. She couldn't move, couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. Her own brother, her flesh and blood, he didn't see her as family. He saw her as a fool. She didn't knock. She didn't enter the room. She just turned around quietly and walked back outside. The sun felt hotter now. The house felt like it was burning from inside. She sat under the mango tree near the gate and stared into the dirt. She didn't cry, not yet. Later that night, at dinner, she barely touched her food. Their mother noticed. "Mara, are you okay?" She nodded. "Just tired." Their father added, "You're still our jewel. You've done more than enough." But when she told them what Tunji had said, her mother gasped. Her father looked uncomfortable. And then came the words that finished her heart. "Don't take it personal," he said, not looking her in the eye. "Family comes first." Mara just nodded. But something inside her went cold, like a door had shut, and it would never open again. After that day, Mara changed. She still cooked. She still smiled. But something behind her eyes had gone quiet. It was like her heart was walking backwards step by step away from everything she had once called home. The pain wasn't loud. It was slow, like water dripping on stone. You wouldn't see it right away, but you'd feel it. She stopped asking Tunji how he was feeling. She stopped adding honey to his tea, even though he liked it that way. She no longer sat beside him while he watched football. Tunji didn't notice at first. He was too busy bragging to his friends, showing off his strength like it came from magic. But one day, he came into the kitchen and asked, "Mara, is everything okay with you?" She looked up, smiled gently and said, "Of course, big bro." But her smile didn't reach her eyes. At night, Mara sat alone in her room, holding the piece of paper the doctor gave her after the surgery. It was a thank you letter. It said she had saved a life. But now, she wondered, had she really? Or had she just given her brother a reason to laugh at her kindness? She thought of the things she had missed. Her studies, her job, her dreams. All for someone who didn't even see her as a human being, just as soft, as free. And when her parents said, "Don't take it personal," Mara finally understood something. In this house, she was the helper, not the daughter. The giver, not the person to be cared for. A few weeks later, something strange happened. Tunji got a call from the bank. He had tried to transfer money, but his account was frozen. He shouted. He stormed into the living room. "Who touched my account?" he yelled. Their father came rushing. "Calm down. What is going on?" "I can't move my money. Something is wrong." Mara was sitting on the stairs, her face calm like still water. She stood up and said softly, "You'll be hearing from my lawyer." Tunji blinked. "You're what?" "I'm suing you," Mara said. The whole house went quiet. Even the fridge seemed to stop humming. Their mother gasped. "Mara, you're joking." But Mara's voice didn't shake. "I gave him my kidney. I gave up my job, my money, my school, and he called me a fool." Her eyes were sharp now. Clear. "You all told me not to take it personal, so now I won't. I'll take it legal." That night, Tunji shouted for hours. "You're destroying this family. You think the world cares? You gave me a kidney? You were meant to do it. You're my sister." But Mara didn't answer. She packed her bags the next morning and moved in with her cousin, Ada. She didn't cry. She didn't look back. Days turned into weeks. And while Tunji told everyone Mara had gone crazy, the truth was, Mara had never been clearer in her life. She started writing. At first, just in a small notebook. Then she opened a blog. Second Chances Should Go Both Ways. That was the name. Each post was a letter to anyone who had ever been used, to any sister who gave and got nothing back. The blog began to grow. People shared it. Comments poured in. "Thank you for this. This is my story too. You made me feel seen." Meanwhile, Tunji's phone started ringing. It was a reporter. Then another. "Is it true your sister gave you a kidney, and now you're in court?" He panicked. "No comment. Don't call me again." But the damage was done. People were asking questions. People were listening to Mara's side now. One day, her parents called. Her father sounded tired. "Mara, please, let's talk." She met them at a quiet restaurant near Ada's place. Her mother tried to smile. "We just want peace." Mara looked at both of them. Then she said, "When I was bleeding, you told me to not take it personal. But now that he's bleeding, you want peace." Her mother's smile fell. "You raised me to be strong, to do what's right. But when I did it for myself, you said I was being selfish." Her father looked down at his hands. "I'm not the fool here," Mara said quietly. "I just stopped pretending I was." The court date came. Mara sat beside her lawyer, a woman named Ifeoma, with eyes like a storm cloud. She presented her documents, medical bills, surgery costs, lost wages, canceled travel plans, and the voice recording. Yes, that day at Tunji's door, she had pressed record on her phone. The judge listened carefully. Tunji shrunk in his seat. And when it was over, the judge gave her a small nod. "We'll continue this at the next hearing. But from what I've heard, this woman was more than generous, and what she got in return was disgraceful." After court, a young woman walked up to Mara outside the building. "Are you the blog writer?" Mara blinked. "Yes." The girl hugged her tight. "You saved me. I was about to give everything to people who never clapped for me. But then I read your story, and I stopped." Mara hugged her back. Her heart, which had felt so heavy, started to feel light again. The second court hearing came fast. Mara wore a simple white dress, no makeup, just calm. Tunji came with a new lawyer. This one tried to twist things. "Your Honor, it was a family matter," the lawyer said. "No one forced Mara to donate. She did it out of love. So why should my client pay for love freely given?" But Mara's lawyer, Ifeoma, stood up tall. "It wasn't love she's asking for in return. It's respect." The judge looked from Tunji to Mara. "I've seen people give everything for family," he said slowly. "But I've also seen how some people use love as a trap." Then he read the statement from Mara's recording again, out loud. "She's soft. That's why I knew she'd do it. I always get what I want." Tunji looked down. The courtroom was silent. You could hear the ticking of the wall clock. Then came the verdict. The court orders a full reimbursement of all related expenses, medical, housing, and emotional damages. Mr. Tunji is also required to publicly issue a formal apology and refrain from further defamation. Outside the courtroom, the sun was shining. But Mara didn't smile yet. Not until she turned her phone on. There were hundreds of new messages. Her blog post from that morning had gone viral. "When they call you a fool for being kind." Thousands had read it. Some left comments. One said, "I gave my mother-in-law everything, and she still called me a waste." Another wrote, "You helped me see I'm not weak. I'm just not willing to be used anymore." Then came a message from a women's wellness company. They wanted Mara to come speak. They were offering a paid partnership. She sat down on a bench under the courthouse tree and breathed. Not just because she had won in court, but because she had finally won herself back. Back at home, her parents were quiet. They didn't talk much when she came to pack the last of her things. Her mother placed a hand on her shoulder. "We didn't know he would say that." Mara nodded. "But you stayed silent when I told you." Her father stood near the door, clearing his throat. "We're proud of you now." She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Now is late, but I'll take it anyway." She forgave them that day, but she didn't forget. Some lessons don't come wrapped in anger. Some just come with distance. 2 months later, Mara's life had changed. She moved into a one-bedroom apartment near a quiet lake. She returned to school online this time. She started a podcast too. It was called Soft Does Not Mean Stupid. In the first episode, she said something that made everyone sit up. "They called me soft, like it was a curse. But softness is strength. It just takes longer to show." And Tunji? Well, the world didn't forget him quickly. After the court forced him to post his apology online, Many of his old friends stopped calling. His ego was loud, but his heart was quiet now. No one cheered for him anymore, not even himself. But here's the twist. One day, a letter came from Mara. No stamp, no return address. Inside was a card, simple. It said, "You were right to walk away. I only knew your worth when it stopped working for me. T." She folded the letter once, then twice. Then she placed it in her journal, not because she needed it, but to remind herself, even those who laugh at you may one day remember you in silence. So, if you've ever given your all to someone, if you've ever been used and then mocked for being too kind, if you've ever felt invisible in a family that only claps for the loudest, let Mara's story speak to your heart. Kindness is not weakness, and love doesn't mean losing yourself. Sometimes, walking away isn't rude. It's brave. Sometimes, choosing yourself is the only way to survive. So tell me, have you ever been called a fool for being good? What did you do next? Share your story in the comments. Like this video if it touched something inside you. And please don't forget to share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to our channel